My name is Kevin Vanderkraal. Aion FX is my creative outlet for guitar pedal designs. Now I do it full time, yeah. So for me, it all goes back to when I first cracked open a Boss DS1 distortion pedal with the intention of modifying it to make it sound better. And miraculously, I didn't break it, and it did sound a lot better when I was done with it. From there, I was hooked. So after I had modified a bunch of pedals, everything I could get my hands on, I thought, oh, building a pedal wouldn't be that hard, would it? And so I started trying to build my own, and it didn't work. And so I tried to build another one, and it didn't work. And I ended up with a box, about this big, full of all of the failures. Finally got the hang of it. It came to me eventually, and I had some success after that. I finally was able to build working pedals, and from there I got into designing them. It didn't take long before people were starting to ask me if I would do kits as well. And at first I was resistant to the idea just because I didn't really want to do people's shopping for them. But one day I came across that box, that box of failed circuit boards from early on, and I had this idea that what if I could smooth out that learning curve? For me, it was a really hard process to figure out how to build pedals successfully, but if I could design these kits from the ground up in such a way that people wouldn't have to make all those same mistakes I did, then that was something I could get behind. The thing I always hated most about building pedals was the wiring aspect of it, having to cut everything to length and strip the ends and solder it right into place, and then if it didn't work, you had to undo that whole process to pull the circuit board out. And so right from the start, I knew that I wanted to design these kits using wire assemblies. So they're already pre-made, pre-cut to length, pre-tinned, and all you have to do is solder them in place and then snap it in when you're done. And it makes a solid connection that you can also pull out if you ever need to troubleshoot it or modify it in the future. All the parts in the kit are clearly marked. I get all my resistors custom made. Usually a resistor is going to have a 5-band color code on it, and it's really easy to read it the wrong direction or mistake brown for red, for instance. But I actually get the values, the value of the resistor printed on the resistor itself, and so it cuts down on errors, and it makes the whole process a lot faster as well. All the kits come with professionally designed, printed, and powder-coated enclosures so that the end result when you're done building it looks like something that came off the shelf of a music store. I custom source all my own foot switches and I get them gold plated. I also use resistors and capacitors that are a lot lower tolerance, tighter tolerance than what you can normally find, which is a lot more expensive, from a cost standpoint, but it's worth it. I use name brands like Taiwei and Wima for components, companies that have proven their reliability. When I developed the documentation, I thought through all of the different questions that I had when I first started building pedals, all the things that I would just spend hours researching online. And I wrote it with those questions in mind, with the idea being that if somebody builds a pedal with this documentation, they'll be able to breeze through all those parts that just were sticking points for me. It's not so much about saving money when you build a kit, although you probably will, but it's more about building something that's actually more reliable and better quality than what you could buy in the store. It's been really exciting to see the maker movement kind of explode in the last few years, and to see people who come to realize that they can build their own pedals and they can understand how it works. And so it's my hope that I can convince people that they can build their own pedals, that they have what it takes, and that they can own their tone.